Okay. I found an interview somebody did with a Fuji sponsored shooter. His name is Zack Arias. I mentioned him before. He's kind of a chubby dude that kind of looks like me, except he's got a long beard. I'm sure he finds that an insult if he were to ever watch this. He's like, I don't look like that freak. Anyway, in this interview, amazingly enough, I made 2 videos about 3 or 4 months ago. Might not have been that long ago. Because I kept fielding calls from people saying, why isn't Fuji making a full-frame camera? And, I got tired of fielding. It was just blatantly obvious to me. I knew Fuji was not going to make full-frame cameras. I made 2 very detailed videos laying out the logic behind why Fuji is just, it'd be stupid for Fuji to make full-frame cameras. Anyway, in this interview, it's an audio interview. You can click the link below. I can't remember the name of the guy that did the interview with Zack Arias. But somewhere right around the 30-minute mark, he says the exact same thing I say. He says that he says these exact words are something along the lines of Fujifilm would be absolutely crazy to even think of making a full-frame camera. And the interviewer says, well, why? So the market is saturated with the full-frame from Sony and Nikon and Canon. It's absolutely stupid. It's like, how do you break into a house, from the premise of a burglar? It's like, and there used to be a show on TV where these burglars would tell people why their houses are suck for security. It's like, you got 100 locks on the front door, and the front door is made out of metal. And the owner's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you see that open window right over there? It's stupid, Fuji is not going to make a full-frame camera. They would get into a war that they could never win. They would just bleed money out of every orifice on their corporate body. They would shoot blood from both eyes, from their rear end, and from every other orifice, money-wise, monetarily. It would be the epitome of stupid. It would be the epic dumbest. I would lose all respect for Fuji if they thought about trying to jump into the full frame. I still get those questions. So this interview, I thought, well, I'm going to listen to it, while I'm typing out stuff. Since it was an audio interview, I could type and listen at the same time. And it was a good interview. And, yeah, this is Zack Arias. I don't know if Zack Arias saw my video from months ago, or there are only 2 things that are possible. Either he watched the video that I made, or we're 2 minds that think 110% exactly alike on this topic, because it's completely logical, it's sensible, it makes all the sense in the world, and Fuji is not going to make a full-frame camera. Why on earth would you wage a war or a battle when on a front that's already fully saturated? Fuji did an end run right around Sony, right around Nikon and Canon, and they're going to come out with a consumer accessible medium format digital, which most of you don't need a damn medium format camera. Most of you don't even know what the hell a medium format's for, and it's for the exact same stuff that medium format film was for. Commercial, product photography, high-end portraiture. That's it, basically. High-end weddings. Not for the actual ceremony or for afterwards, but for staged shots in the wedding where you actually have a backdrop. You take someone outside, you take some high-end classy shots, out in a beautiful scenic spot. But basically commercial, product photography, and corporate. It's very slow and methodical. And by doing that, Fuji has destroyed. They're gonna own everybody's ass. Not Hasselblad. Hasselblad is a very slow company that doesn't churn out much product. They're not very responsive to customers' concerns. So it's like, yeah, well, Hasselblad has a small medium format camera. Well, A, it's expensive, and B, it's not modular. I have an inside bit of information that I made you a video on several months ago, that the GFX Fujifilm is going to be modular and is going to have, and by the way, Zack Arias in this audio interview said the exact same thing I did just now. That the GFX, he said it in slightly different words, that there is indication, I think he said that the GFX is going to have upgradability, I think is the word he used. It's like, well, damn, I just said that months ago myself. So all these people saying, why doesn't Fuji GFX have a leaf shutter? It's just like, wait. What Fuji's going to do is they're going to have basically the same camera available as two different models. What does that mean? It means you can have the same camera body, but it's going to be upgradable to like super pro level. It's like, well, $8,000 for the body and the a kit lens for the GFX. But on down later, either this in 2017, later this year in 2017, or maybe in the beginning of 2018, they're going to allow the option of a shutter-compatible lens, a leaf shutter-compatible lens, and the firmware, I've been told, is already in place to let this happen. Apparently, a Fuji-sponsored shooter has an inside line saying, listen, you know, the current release of the GFX doesn't have a leaf shutter. We know all the pros want a leaf shutter, but don't worry, you know, it's going to be an upgrade feature where the same camera will have that capability. And so, very, very smart of Fuji, because all these camera companies, they pull the same trick. You know, I don't know if trick is the right word, but they pull the same trick on their consumers, is there always has to be something new that you gotta want. It's like, you know, oh my god, we came out with an awesome camera this year. Yeah, but next year we got some really cool crap. And then next year it's like, yeah, it's awesome. And then they say again, like, yeah, but wait till next year we got some even cooler crap. Nikon and Canon and Fuji, they all pull this. That's how they stay in business. They make new stuff with new features that makes you want to desire it, so you can blow your money and keep them, you know, employed. You know, keep the money churning in the till of the camera. That's okay. That's the way they work. That's how they stay in business. You know, no big deal. But yeah, so the audio interview with Zack Arias was interesting because he was saying the exact same thing I said in this interview that was done like a week or so ago, or something, a week roughly, something like that ago, that I made videos about months and months ago. I was like, well, that's exactly what I said. So the people who are complaining about me back then, it's like, well, you know, there's this Fuji-sponsored shooter said the 100% exactly the same damn thing I just said. You're crazy if you think Fuji's going to get into full-frame cameras. You're just totally stupid. It's kind of like a burglar trying to break into your house when, you know, you got a steel door with 100 padlocks on it. I was like, well, why would you do that? I'm just going to break into the window over here, you know, break the glass, jump in. That's what Fuji did. You know, screw full frame. Fuji is not going to piss their time and money away going into an already oversaturated market. It's like, well, what's wide open that we could instantly make a good amount of money off of, you know? It's not going to sell like hotcakes because it's an expensive camera, but we will own it. We will own it. We will dominate the field instantly. Oh, a medium format camera, yeah. Nikon ain't got it, Sony ain't got it, Canon ain't got it. We will own their ass. You know? How many camera companies can do that overnight instead of like Nikon fights with Canon, Canon fights with Nikon, new full frame here, new full... You know, that shit's been going on for decades. How about Sony just make a medium format camera and kick everybody's ass overnight? Well, that seems like a smart, intelligent, wise move. Well, yeah, that's exactly what Fuji did. It's like, yeah, there you go right there. You either understand that simple logic or you don't. It's undeniable. So, kudos to old Zack Arias for saying the exact same thing I said in videos several months ago. And that's it. So stop asking questions about why Fujifilm isn't making full-frame cameras. Because they shouldn't. Because if I were them, I wouldn't either. You know? Same reason you don't stick your head in a gator's mouth. You know? Why would you do it? It's stupid. So, hooray to Fuji. Fuji's going to have a big announcement in January, not only for their X100F camera, but a big announcement on their GFX as far as its release date and maybe some other detailed information. Fuji's having their own big shindig in the middle of January, so anyway, that's it. So happy medium format to Fujifilm. Bye. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da-da-da.